This is a great video for someone who has economics students. They may be teaching economics, or it could be to just show your children. Many times children don't understand. I found that many students, after they would actually write this stuff out, like I did to show you this video, they kind of have a better understanding of how money works. Even adults. I mean, there are still adults who make 100,000 and don't understand why they don't have any money left. If you kind of don't keep track or look at what's coming out, it's real difficult. It's really difficult to tell to understand how your money works. So I'm going to give you now. This is a average person who's 30 years old, living in Atlanta, and I'm going to break down how much taxes are taken out. What are the things that are necessary? Now, this doesn't include all of a person's expenses. These are just the basic. I didn't even include saving. I didn't even include 401k. I didn't even include, I think, my emergency fund, which everybody needs a huge emergency fund. It was very small, very, very small. And not only that, I played the numbers down on how much stuff costs and how much you have to pay. Pretty much all the numbers are minimized as far as your expenses. And again, I didn't include everything. There are so many people, they call them the working homeless. I really understand how a person who makes 25,000, 30,000, even 50,000 can end up homeless. There are people who are making a lot more money than that and end up homeless. And people wonder why. How does that happen? How does that happen? You get one medical emergency. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that medical bills bankrupt more people than anything. You could get one medical bill and bam, that's it. So how do so many people end up broke? Okay. So starting off here, I have, again, a 30-year-old person who is making about $50,000 living in Atlanta. So you see, as you can see, he's going to be taxed $10,273, which is the average tax rate. And the marginal tax rate is 12. So he's going to bring home about 39, give or take, or she. Then you have the federal taxes. You can see that's $4,000. That just comes out automatically. There's no way around it. Before you even get your money in your hand or your check or your money deposited, the Social Security, the federal taxes, the state taxes, and some cities even have, some places even have local taxes. This is not, I didn't put in any car registration every year, none of that stuff. I'm being real light on the numbers here. Okay, so your state taxes is about $4,241. Those Social Security taxes are $3,100. State taxes, now this is Atlanta, Georgia. This is going to vary from state to state, but I am willing to bet you that in general to these numbers, they're going to apply to pretty much all states. Give or take, higher or lower, but not too far from what a person makes $50,000. Medicare. Now you have property taxes. Sometimes with property taxes, schools are included into that. Sewage is included into that. Now, I even put in a $120,000 house, which may be difficult in Atlanta, Georgia. but I wanted to be conservative. Most people who are making $50,000 probably live in a much more expensive house. But I wanted to be conservative with the numbers to show you why people struggle. So that mortgage or rent is going to be around 1,236, which comes up to 14,000 per year. Now, there's something that we call Murphy's Law. Anyone who has lived to be an adult and paying bills understands this. Something's going to always break. That air conditioner on that car is going to go out. The air conditioner on the house is going to go out. What does an air conditioner cost now for a house? Maybe $10,000, $12,000, $8,000, give or take. And if a person's making $50,000 and they have all these bills, they may end up getting in credit card debt or some type of debt to pay for it. This happens. Credit card debt is big, and I don't even have credit card bills that this is a person with no debt except for the home and the car that they may be paying for. So I was very conservative by saying it's only $42 per month. That's super conservative. But that's the emergency fund. Your stove's going to break, refrigerator's going to go out, something. And the Murphy's Law is what can happen will happen. So an average car payment in Atlanta is about $430 a month. So that comes out to $5,160 per year. You got that car insurance. I'm being conservative on the car insurance. That's about $120, which comes to a little over $1,400 a year. Health insurance. Unless your job. Now, some of these things you can deduct. Like if your job pays health insurance, you can take that off. But if you're paying, this is for one person, about $354 a month, which is $42.84 per year. Cell phone, about $80 a month, $960 a year. Your electric bill, which is, I'm being conservative here also, $1,200 a year, $100 a month. That internet, which is going to be $840 a year, it's only $70 a month. Your water bill, if you have one, $30 and $360 per year. Food and groceries, I did this at $50 a week. I think that was being really, reasonable or conservative. But that comes up to, even if you spent $35 a week, just add that in. And so if you did it at $50, it'd be $200 a month, $2,400 a year. Now that gas or transportation cost, I think it was $35 a week, which is $140 a month and $1,680. Now, when you look at these numbers and a lot of these, you'll hear people when they're buying a car or something and they'll go, oh, it's only $140 a month. But the people who are lending you the money don't look at it that way. They look at it as, okay, it's $140 a month, but look how much we're getting at the end of the year or 2 years or 3 years. This is how mortgages work. This is how a lot of lenders work. Actually, I believe that the word mortgage comes from an old Latin term, mortier. I believe it comes from mortier, which sounds like mortify or morgue, which basically is like pay till you're almost dead or you're dead, So the financial institutions look at it that way. So Eating out, there we go again. If a person spent $35 per week, and a person can go in one sitting and spend $35, but even if they spent $5 a month, if they spent $5 a week just going to the $5 a day, that's $25 a week, which is $200 a month. So it adds up. But if a person only spent $35 a week, it'd be $140 a month, $1,680 per year. This is a chart here kind of showing all the how all the bills are. Now the crazy thing about all of this, and this is where all the money goes, and this is the important part, is if a person only paid these things, and this isn't everything they should be paying, but just these things, they're only left with about $4,000 left. When you add it all up, they're only left with about $4,000. And the crazy thing is they're spending on all of these things. It adds up to about $46,000. When you go back and add all of these things up, it's about $46,000. So that's how much they're left with. And so if something comes up, like an emergency or something, it puts a lot of people in a bind, puts a lot of people behind the curve. And so, I think to myself, well, how do these companies avoid all of these taxes? Government gives a lot of companies tax breaks. Government helps companies out. And one way to offset some of those taxes, because that's a big part, is by creating a business. The government really doesn't help people who work for a living. And when I say help people, I mean like it doesn't give them tax breaks. But if there are people who have created businesses and they get even part-time businesses, a ton of tax breaks. There's a lot of examples of going to a country and use the airline, pay for the airline tickets and gas. All he did was go to the country and talk to people about their business. If you want to do a business, make sure you get a good account, gas, so many things, cell phone bills. So many things that we use, we actually pay for, we can get tax breaks if it was tied to a business. But this guy makes $50,000, or lady makes $50,000, and ends up having only $4,000 of. And when you look through the things, I didn't go through anything special that they're doing, going on vacation, going on to a funeral, going to none of that. This is just basic stuff that they have to pay. This is how many people are struggling. This is how we see so many people who are homeless. Any major city has tons and tons of homeless people. And some of these people are working. They call them the homeless, I forgot the term, but the working poor. Some of these people who are working are living in hotels, paying week to week, struggling. What I put in here didn't include medicine. It didn't include glasses. It didn't include, I had some dental insurance in these numbers, but many times the dental insurance that you have doesn't pay for the more expensive things, like a root canal or something serious. It's it's kind of like a lot of people feel like they're working, and this is why people will work for 20 years and seem to never get ahead, never seem to, You ask some people, you go, well, how long have you been working? And then they say to you, oh, I've been working 20 years. And you be like, well, how much money do you have? You know, some people don't even have $1,000 in the bank or 500 in the bank, and they've been working for 30 years. Now, there's something to be said about working and living on less than what you make, but many people don't do that. And people will, or many people can't, because of the expenses, because of how expensive it is to live. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. There are people living in other places who don't have as much income coming in, but they have a better lifestyle or they have more. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. I would suggest to look at the numbers, at your numbers, and see where your money is going. Thank you for listening.